Okay, I think I'm going to start. Does everybody make it 1:45? Yeah, okay, I think I'm safe to start now. Hello everybody. This is a demonstration of the KeyBed pregnancy cushion. Have I got massage therapists in the audience? Brilliant, thank you. So what you really... This isn't just a demonstration of the KeyBed, this is an explanation, I think, of where it came from. And so I'm going to start at the very beginning. 8 years ago, I was heavily pregnant and I needed to lay on my belly. So, as you do, I went to Google and I asked for a pregnancy cushion that would let me lay on my belly, expecting someone to have made one and for it to be out there, but it wasn't. So I guess as a natural creative person, I went and I made a pregnancy cushion that would enable me to lay on my belly heavily pregnant. So that was fine. I was very comfortable and I had no concerns whatsoever about how my body was feeling. I'd previously qualified as a massage therapist anyway, so I was perfectly comfortable with the anatomy and physiology, and I understood contraindications, etc., etc. But before I was pregnant with this child, I had previously lost my first child, and so it was really important for me to find out from the powers that be that this cushion was 100% safe for me to lay prone in my pregnancy. I did not want my unborn child to be in any danger. So I went to the midwife and I went to Tommy's Miscarriage Charity and I went to every organisation that I could find, and I asked them the question. I said, is this safe for me to be laying on my belly? I feel very comfortable, but I don't want my child to be in any risk whatsoever. And so they reassured me that it was fine. And so I carried on through my pregnancy with the cushion similar to this that I made. And I took it to my massage therapist and she used it to massage and wax the back of my legs and do all those things that are awkward when you've got a client with a massive bump on her belly. So that was the initial part of the KeyBed. But what happened during that time is I had so much enthusiasm from the midwives and from the massage therapist and from pretty much everybody who came into contact with the KeyBed. They were so excited about the prospect of a full-term pregnant lady being able to lay on her belly. I realised that I had an absolute obligation to make more of them and share them to the wider market.
I think
this was extremely difficult. Even though I was heavily pregnant, I already knew I was going to be a single mum, and I was in absolute adversity. And I didn't have enough money to put food on the table, let alone start a business and design a product. So it took me a couple of years. It took me about 2 months to save up £60 to buy the first piece of material, and I'm really proud of this journey. And then another few months to save up the money to protect it with the patent office. But what I really needed to do still then is I was confident I had a product that I needed to share with the industry, but I was still concerned over, with my previous miscarriage, I knew that women really needed to be absolutely sure that this was safe. I knew that therapists needed to be sure this was safe. When you're taught massage therapy, you're taught not to massage clients in their first trimester of pregnancy. It's not because there's any risk to them, there's no risk with massage, it's a benefit. However, because of the risk in the first 12 weeks, when you lose a child, you look for somebody to blame. That's the most natural thing in the world to do. So for insurance purposes, you don't massage clients in the first trimester because you don't need that. So I needed to also take away the concern of massaging pregnant clients in their second trimester and their third trimester laying on their bellies. So I spent the next couple of years doing further research. And the most important thing that came out of that is I had to understand why pregnant ladies, why massage therapists were taught to massage pregnant ladies on their left-hand side, and I had to really break that down. And the issue being is that you don't want a pregnant lady to be led on her back because you've got the main vena cava vein there, and you don't want the oxygen flow depleted from mum or baby. So you don't want them to be led on her back, and you don't want her to be led on her right-hand side. And as the midwife pointed out to me earlier, there's not really much risk with that either, but we've always got the issue as therapists is when you've got a client, you don't want her to think that she's done something to risk that baby. So we're just acting on the side of precaution. So the thing is when a pregnant client is led on her belly, you still have the safety. She's not led on her back or her right-hand side. And the archaic view of laying a pregnant client on her left-hand side is because that was the only option other than laying her on her back or right-hand side and not blocking those essential vena cava vein. So that was fine. That aspect of it I was perfectly comfortable with, and I thought, yes, I can explain that to massage therapists essentially, and we need that incorporated into training more when we're taught pregnancy. Ironically, in the first few years, it was the chiropractors and the osteopaths and the physiotherapists who were more confident buying the key beds. I don't mind saying, as a fully qualified massage therapist myself, their training is more extensive than our training. They had enough confidence with the anatomy and physiology and the benefits to the lady for laying in the prone position. You've got spinning and you've got the breech turn, and you know, it's an amazing thing for a lady to be able to lay in that position. So the chiropractors and the osteopaths and the physiotherapists were buying it first, and then the massage therapists were getting a little more confident. And when I was able to explain to them that it's okay, you're not laying the lady on her back or her right, you know, the issue is really that, more than laying her on her left, then that was okay too. But then I had a little bit more resistance, and people said to me, well, I've heard that you shouldn't be massaging a pregnant client laying on her belly on the massage couch. So I needed to look into that a bit further too, and I was like, okay, why are they saying that? Because I had already had extensive research and feedback, and I knew this was fine, but I needed to answer those questions. So the answer that came back to me was, there's some massage couches that have got a hole in the couch where the lady can lay. And the issue with that being, it's quite hard for me to demonstrate, which I'd like to. When a lady is led prone and her bump is just falling into a hole, you've got all of the strain on these round ligaments and side ligaments here where the bump is unsupported and hanging down. So that was one of the reasons why they said don't lay your pregnant client on the forward-facing couches. That wasn't the only reason. When you're laying a lady on one of those couches, as well as having the pressure here, because her legs are straight and her back's straight, the lumbar region of the spine is really pushed inwards, and she's got all of this extra strain here. So that is where that came from. With the key beds therapy couch, as I've got a model who's going to show you in a minute, you know, we kind of tackle that issue. So before I get her up, what I want to do is show you how it breaks up. Through Key Products, the website's here, and you've all got a flyer on your seat, by the way, so you can have a look at this at home at your leisure. On the website, you can either get just a key bed, which is what I find that pregnant ladies get if they're going to use it at home to relax on, and they just put a couple of pillows there, and they flunk on it, and they put their head on the pillow, and they're comfy. That's fine. When you're a massage therapist, it's a little bit more complex than that, because mainly because of the face rest, because you need the ladies to be face down, so that when you're massaging the back of their neck, you need to have that proper, you know, it needs to be aligned, and you need to be able to work that properly. But equally, I've had some chiropractors who have given me feedback that they've used the key beds for other ailments. So one of them said to me their client had had a mastectomy and it was painful for her to lay on her friends. So they used the key beds. And there's other, you know, you get all sorts of, some customers just don't find it comfortable to lay on their belly if they've got a larger breast or a larger belly, or they've had an operation, or for any other reason. So sometimes it's nice just to give them a little bit of extra support. Now, the key bed is made of 2 4-inch layer depths. So you can use it when they're only a little bit pregnant and they've got no pressure on their bump, but also, like I just said, post-op. The top layer fits our stereotypical Western kind of physique. We are a little bit wider as a rule, but if you've got kind of a more Oriental Asian customer, they tend to be very narrow in the body, they're a much smaller frame. So the key bed is cut at such an angle where if you've got a lady with a small frame, you can take the bottom layer and put it on the top layer, and then she's got more support on the rib cage here. So this, the way the key bed works is it supports the skeletal structure. That's what it does. It's a solid cushion, it's comfy but it's solid. So your pregnant client can literally lay on it and relax. And she knows that her bump isn't going to suddenly get squashed. There are other kind of booster cushions you can get, but there's movement with them. And if the top bit comes away from the bottom bit or the sides come apart, then what happens is you're going to go squish. So with this being one solid unit, your skeletal structure is fully supported and you can relax and just lay down and enjoy the treatment with your therapist. So, on my stand earlier, I had a therapist who also happens to be pregnant, who led on the key bed. And I said to her, would you come over and be my model? And she said yes. So I'm very pleased because it's always nice to see these things in action. I can lay on it myself, it's very comfy, I'm happy to lay on it myself, but I'm not pregnant. So, Abby, isn't it? Yeah, Abby. So Abby's pregnant and she's a qualified therapist, and she's also now a key bed owner, and she's going to be advertising this on her website later. So now you need to be a bit closer to that, don't you? Right, wait there. Let's move it up. There you go. Obviously, as a therapist, you know you always need to check with your client, and you always need to make sure she's perfectly comfortable. So don't be afraid to say, are you comfy? Do we need to move the key bed an inch closer to the face rest or away? We've all got, some of us have got long necks, some of us have got nice little stubby necks, like me. And you know, we've got full access here to, sorry, are you okay with this? We've got full access here to work on the back of the legs. And we, you know, when you're pregnant, if you've been pregnant, you know, you really, really want this massage here. Now, the important thing, and this is what's crucial with the key bed, and this is the difference with the key bed, is the lumbar region of the spine. Like I said earlier, the concern with laying pregnant clients prone, where there's a hole in the couch, is that the bump is dropping down from her straight body, and the lumbar region of the spine is just sinking in, there's all that pressure. So here, because the legs drop down, and because the head drops down, we've got this lovely curvature of the spine, and that just feels exactly how, are you alright in there? Yeah, okay. So you can stay there as long as you want, or you can get up, it's fine. So this is the key bed story, and this is what I sell directly. Now basically I was pregnant 8 years ago. Like I said, it took me 2 years to bring it to market, and I've been selling it for the last 6 years. And it is with chiropractors and osteopaths and massage therapists all over the UK. And I'm going to keep your hands on your back because it doesn't feel right you being there without my hands on your back. Is that okay? Just do some natural healing while you're there. I don't practice massage therapy now as it happens, but I am a qualified therapist. You know, when you're a therapist and a natural healer, you can't have somebody led in front of you and not lay your hands on them. So anyway, so it took me a couple of years to bring it to market. It's British standards tested. It's fully compliant. It's still made in the UK. All of the component parts are made in the UK, which I'm quite proud of. It's important to support our internal economy, and hence the price as well, because the cover is 100% soft brushed cotton cover. Now it could be more aesthetically pleasing and it could be wrapped in kind of a plasticky type cover, but this is going to make bump sweat and it's going to make mum feel uncomfortable. So here, you know, you've got maximum breathability for bump, and you're not going to get too hot while you're being worked on as a client. I have absolutely no idea what I'm saying. So yeah, so 6 years. So yeah, we've been in the UK now for 6 years. Like I said, it's all over the UK. On the website, you can find a practitioner near you. So if you're pregnant and you want to get a nice massage, you just go onto the website, you look for a practitioner near you, and you book and have a treatment with them. What I do as the business owner, I always support the therapists who buy the key beds. I promote them in their local areas, and I do Facebook campaigns, and I target pregnant ladies, and I let them know where they need to go to get their pregnancy massage. And I think really what I need to do is I need to encourage a growth mindset with the teachings of this. The block that I'm still having, do you want to get up or you're right? You're right, okay. Okay, that's good. So it's the growth mindset. You know, we're still being taught to lay our pregnant clients on their left-hand side. We've moved on, there are more options available now, but we need to, I'm going to do some training myself and attach CPD points to it, so you can get like 10 CPD points or something when you understand why we're told to lay a client on her left. You know, it's not so much you can't lay on the belly, etc, etc. And yeah, so it's been tested to British standards testing. I had to send one, again this is in the early days, as a really, really skinned single mum, I had to send them to the factory to be incinerated, to get the testing British compliant, that it's fire and safety regulated furniture, and then I had to send another one to be toxicated, so I had the breathability testing. So yeah, so basically what we've got is a fully health and safety tested British product that is available to buy and use for your clients for years to come. Most of my therapists that bought them have been using them now for 4, 5, 6 years, and they're going really well. And it's 100% consistently brilliant feedback from their clients of the treatments they're having with them. It's never been an issue. So what I wanted to say was about the price. Obviously the price reflects not only the fact that it is a British health and safety tested product, it is really that journey. You know, you're not paying for a cushion, you're paying for something that's been incinerated, and you know, you're paying for years of research to understand why this is safe for your client, and you're paying for 100% soft brush cotton cover instead of just a cheap tacky cover that's going to make your client uncomfortable. So you're really paying for the luxury of your pregnant client just being able to completely relax. You can have confidence that she's safe, that baby's safe, and they can fall asleep if they want. So flush. I just love it. You can see how happy she is. So the price, yeah, so it's not cheap, but because of my own personal journey, I'd like to be able to make things accessible to people. So as a small business, I'm very fortunate. If you email me and you say, I can't pay in one go, I need to pay over 3 months, it's not a problem. We can take payments over 3 months to make sure that you're not excluded as a practitioner because you're starting up and because you've got other expenses to meet. And like I said, we give you the full support on social media and on the website when you're a therapist to help you grow your business in your local area, so that pregnant ladies know where to find you. So that's enough about that really. There's not much more I can say on the key beds. I mean, they gave me half an hour, but I don't need half an hour. It's only a 10-minute story. I think what's important is the message behind it. I'm a very big supporter of women in business generally. And I would say that if you've got any financial blocks or any concerns, don't wait until you're wealthy to start a business, and don't be put off by the fact that somebody could steal your idea. To be honest with you, I thought that this would be mass-produced in China 3 years ago. You know, it's not, but it will be soon, for sure, and it'll be available a lot cheaper. But right now, you know, I'm the only place you can buy it from, which is great. But try not to let things stand in your way. The entrepreneurial journey for any woman is so empowering and so amazing, and you know, we have to have confidence in what we've produced and our knowledge and what we can give to other people. And do you want to get up now? again. Yeah, just chatting away there. Okay. If anybody wants to come and have a if anybody wants to come and have a lie down, you're more than welcome. Thanks. And yeah, just please spread the word. I think what I would like to ask you to do is let other people know it exists. I am still a small business and I need people to know about this product, because when they know about it, they buy it. It's just, at the moment, 98% of the UK just don't know it exists. And equally, on the back of my flyers, you'll see the Single Mums Business Network. So if you know a single mum in business who's struggling in adversity, send her my way, because my speciality is helping them help themselves by every means possible. So by ensuring that they're ready, and not just single mums, I do it with every woman. I do networking with the 1230 networking club as well. And I like to see women do well. Who doesn't? It reflects on all of us. So, when we're happy and we're all okay, we go around and we be nice to people. That's what happens. When you like to lift other people when you're lifted, and that's a really precious thing to have. And then when you find it, it's a really precious thing to share. So, anybody struggling, anybody needs business startup advice, send them my way. It's free because it's fun. This isn't free. That pays the bills, but my business advice is free because that pays the spirit. And I can't talk for 20 minutes for the sake of it, so sorry, that's going to have to do. Does anybody want to come up and sing a song? Has anybody got any questions? Questions are fine. It's all on the website. I am on the phone. I'm over on stand W40. I'm happy to talk to you when I'm there, but most of the time I'm scootling around looking at all the other stands. So email me if you can't find me, okay? And any questions, come and see me privately. But I'm going to switch this off because I've had enough of my own voice. Okay? Thank you. Thank you.